The last time we met, we were talking about, weren't we, about your backgrounds, your upbringing, your childhood, your education, and all this in various forms has conditioned you. Newspapers, magazines, television, politics, economics, climate, food. Talking about food, are you all very healthy?
Fairly healthy.
Good, strong bodies? Or you're all rather floppy, sloppy, feeble?
I don't think.
Have you got good, strong body that can play tennis or run or... I used to run 5 miles a day at one time. Can you do all that? Or you're all rather lazy about all that kind of thing?
No, I think we can all do some exercise.
Do you do it?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes? Good. You're good food.
Yes. Yes, very
Of
good
course.
food. Very good food.
Very good food. And is your brain working properly?
Properly?
Properly in the sense, acute, sharp, clear, not muddled, confused.
I think sometimes we do get confused.
Not sometimes. If you say sometimes, then it's most of the time.
Yes. Yes.
We try to be clear, sir, but most of the time one is confused.
Huh?
One tries to be clear, but...
No, I'm asking you, is your brain clear, alert, active? Not chattering, I don't mean that, active. Full of vitality. You're quite young. How old are you?
17.
And you?
26.
And you?
18.
17.
My gosh. You've got a long life ahead of you. And so, is your mind, is your brain very alert?
What did you mean by
I'll tell you, watching the birds, the trees, the grass, the flowers, the flight of them, those wood pigeons. Have you watched the flowers?
Yes, sir.
The shape of the trees, the sound of when the strong wind is there, have you heard the trees?
Yes.
And also have you heard when the trees are very quiet? The other day, it was absolutely motionless, right? I don't know if you watched all this. And there is certain quality of silence and the sound of a tree. I won't go into all that. But do you have such a brain that is watching, looking, observing, feeling? Or is it all casual?
More often it tends to be casual.
Casual in the sense it doesn't care. Don't mind what you think, what you feel. There is not a self-awareness, a critical awareness of oneself.
So perhaps this relates to what you mentioned the other day about looking at oneself.
I'm coming to that.
Do you think we could go into that?
I'm going to go into it. But first, one has to have, doesn't what I'm asking you, don't listen to me merely. I'm asking you, shouldn't you have a very good brain? Not just being clever, I don't mean that. Or having a lot of degrees behind your name. But a brain that is watching, listening, looking, weighing, impersonal, and you follow all that. Or you all the time think about yourself, about your background. Oh, I've been brought up wrongly. My father is a little bit odd, and so on. So, is there a critical self-awareness?
No, sir.
No,
No, I
no,
don't think so.
no. Not selfishness, I don't mean that. Awareness, in which you don't choose. I say, this is good, but to be aware. You understand what I'm talking? Right? If you're not, why aren't you?
I tend to get distracted.
Huh?
I tend to get distracted.
Distracted.
Yes.
Now wait a minute. Is there such a thing as distraction? Careful, think it out with me. I'm asking you, why do you call it distraction?
Because I'm trying to pay attention to a certain thing, but then my mind wanders
All
and I
right,
start thinking
just a
about
minute.
other things.
You are preparing or you are studying a book, a particular subject, right? And as you are looking at, your mind goes off, right? Your brain, you have several thoughts. Why? Why do you call it distraction?
Because there's something that I want to do.
Then, but if you have other kinds of thoughts, that's a part of your being, part of your brain. So why do you call it distraction?
Because we don't accept those thoughts that come about while we're reading.
So why don't you pursue that for a while?
Well, this is because we want to read.
I know,
these things.
just a minute. Listen to what I'm saying. You want to concentrate, right, on a particular page. As you are concentrating, looking at it, you have other thoughts, right? Now, why don't you pursue the other thoughts and not call it distraction? You follow what I'm trying to say? Don't call it distraction.
I tend to see them as unimportant compared to what I have to do.
But you want to read that page, right? You want to learn that subject. And other thoughts interfere. Why do they interfere? Just go into it slowly.
Well, maybe it could be a problem that
No, don't make it into a problem. Just look at it, what I'm saying. I want to look at that clock. I'm watching it. And other thoughts come in. Moment I call it distraction, I've separated the whole process of thinking. Right? You understand what I'm saying?
No, not very.
When I'm reading that page, I'm thinking, observing, looking, seeing how the word is spelled and so on.
I'm not sure I'm even doing that, so when I'm looking, I'm not sure I'm doing that when I look at a page.
No, you may read very quickly, or it may be a very difficult subject, so you have to read carefully, right? As you are reading carefully, there's a second or two when this other thought comes in. That interference you call distraction.
Yes.
Why do you call it distraction? I know what you're going to say, but find out why you use that word. You're attracted by that page, or that particular subject, or you're watching a tree, or bird, other thoughts come in. Why do you call it distraction? It's a whole movement of thought, isn't it?
Yes, but
Right?
I don't see it as that, sir.
See it now.
Yes.
It's a whole movement of thinking, right? Thinking about the subject you're reading, memorizing, because you're unfortunately going to pass an examination, therefore you must be prepared. And a thought arises. Right? Give it a second of it, give a second to investigate that thought. And come back, so that you begin gradually to learn how to look at how to look at yourself. You understand what I'm saying?
So what do you mean by investigating a thought?
Just a minute. I'm polishing my shoes, which I generally do, and a thought arises. For a second or two, or a little longer, I want to find out why it comes. Right? Right? I find because that's also worrying, or it is this, it's something else. So for a few minutes or a minute or two, I say, wait, why am I thinking that? Why is it? Is there some interest in this when I'm polishing my shoe? Right? You follow? I'm interested in polishing my shoe. I make it as clean and nice looking as possible. So there is not this terrible word distraction. You are then aware that you are learning a subject, your mind is active, and you follow, you're active.
So you seem to make a difference between concentration and attention.
Or rather,
What is it?
That's what you're going to presently. That's a little more complex. Wait a minute. If you could drop that word distraction from your brain, see what happens. You understand? See what happens if you don't say, but Joe, I'm distracted, I must pay attention. Then you're creating conflict. You understand?
You mean that there are two different movements
Yes.
going on?
I must concentrate, but also, you follow? Mm-hmm. Can you drop altogether from your vocabulary distraction? Learn, right? You are learning, therefore there is no distraction. I don't know if you follow that. Mm-hmm. Right? You are learning about that page, you are learning about why the thought arises, why it interferes. It means probably you're not interested in that particular subject, but there are other interests inside you. So, you understand? So, quick. Bien. Hai capito? And you agree or not?
Yes, sir.
You see it? Mm-hmm. No, see it not, I'm teaching you or I'm learn about it.
Sir, it seems you are using the word learning in a
Yes, I'm
different
learning.
sense.
I'm learning about that page, that subject, right?
But that learning, sir, is accumulation of knowledge.
Wait, don't go too far ahead. Go step by step, otherwise you'll enter. I'm learning about the subject. Mm-hmm. I'm also learning why there is this other thoughts that come into being. Mm-hmm. So the whole movement is to learn. Right?
Yes.
I'm learning about that subject, that particular page, and also I'm learning about why thoughts arises. So it's a whole movement of learning. He asks, what is the difference between learning and accumulating knowledge? Right?
Yes, sir.
Wait a minute. What do you say? Do you see a difference? careful. Do you see the difference between accumulation, acquiring, right? And not acquiring, which is movement of learning, more learning. There was a very famous painter, Goya, Spanish. He said that when he was 90 or 92, I'm still learning. You understand? He never said I've learned. Right? So do you see the difference? I'm not saying you should or should not, but do you see the difference between acquiring knowledge, memorizing, right? Not only to pass exams, but to have a certain skill which you can use through life to earn a job and earn a livelihood, right? Do you see the difference between that and learning?
No, sir, I usually tend to mean the same thing when I say learning as accumulation of knowledge. I don't see what you mean.
What do you say, sir?
Well, there seems to be one learning where you receive many things and
A little bit louder.
there seems to be one learning where you receive many things and you read and you hear, and the other ones
All right,
you experience and you...
I'll put it this way. You have accumulated a lot of things in your house, in your room. Right? And that accumulation is you. You've collected a lot of memories, a lot of pain, a lot of fears. Right? Then you become a slave to what you have accumulated.
Which is a slave to myself.
What?
A slave to myself.
Yes, collecting. Whereas there is no freedom. There is freedom when there is learning. I wonder if you can capture this. You tell me what you mean by learning. You tell me, forget what I've said, but what do you mean by learning? You learn, tell me.
So,
Be simple.
yes, I find that I learn in order to know. So I'm accumulating memories so that I can remember something. That's what I do when I say I'm learning, you know.
You are learning to drive a car,
Yes.
right? And the instructor tells you how to hold the wheel, what are the pedals and the gear, all the rest of it. He informs you. And then he tells you, start slowly. And you begin to learn how to drive a car.
That's right.
It may take you 3 weeks or a month or a week and so on, right? There, what have you done in that process? What has been happening to your brain? You know, just look at it carefully before don't answer. It has taken you 3 weeks or much longer to learn how to drive a car.
I've acquired a skill.
You have acquired a skill, which means what?
You have become used to the...
Tell me slowly. You talk to me. You two keep quiet.
I have become familiar with certain things.
Go on, tell me more.
It has become sort of automatic, sort of reflex, because if you drive a car, it's the same things that come up every time
So
you do it.
what's happened? You have learned how to drive a car. You have learned how to shift the gears, how to put on the brake and how to go accelerate. And you listen to the engine, how it's working, and also you're watching the road, keeping to your side and so on. And also you're watching about 300 yards ahead of you, right? So that you are taking the whole thing in, right? The road, the wetness of the road, car, and so what has, in doing all that, what has happened to your brain? What have you answer me, all right, take something. You're all learning mathematics, aren't you?
Yes.
Some kind of
Yes.
not too. So when you're learning mathematics or history, you are accumulating information, right? Right? And you're storing that information, the brain is storing it, right? Right?
As memory.
Huh?
As
memory. And you use that
Mm-hmm.
to get a job, to pass it, and so on. You use that. When you learn how to write, you are doing the same thing, which is, you learn, it becomes almost automatic, right? But driving can't be quite automatic. See the difference?
Yes, you also have to watch.
You have to be very careful. You're going about 50, 55 or 60 or more, you have to be very careful. You can't remove your hands from the steering wheel and talk about gesturing. You have to watch. See the difference, the two?
But still, this watching seems to be somewhat automatic. When you jump on the car, you
Yes,
take the
it
wheel.
is
and
almost automatic. I don't like to use the word automatic.
Mechanical.
Like mechanic, something going, you follow? Right? And you call that learning, right? Yeah? You call learning how to write, about mathematics, chemistry, and so on. In that process, it has taken you 10 years, or 15 years, or 20 years. During that time, you have accumulated a lot of knowledge. And that knowledge almost becomes normal. So the brain then becomes mechanical.
I mean, we are so used to it that
Used to it, you have learned about your subject, you're an engineer or chemist, you're learning. And then you move along, right? But always the basis is previous knowledge. You may add to it, right? But it's still, the basis is knowledge. So, inquire into knowledge.
knowledge seems to
Learn from what I'm saying. Learn, find out what you mean by knowledge. Why what is knowledge? Inquire, learn, move. Is it like a computer? You know how a computer works.
Yes.
Yes, more or less. I don't know either, but you program it, right? Right? So there are people who know how to program. And then it replies and so on. Tells you. Are you like that?
Well, that's what it seems sometimes.
Just listen first before you answer.
yes, because I too acquire certain bits of information. I play around with them and use them in the way that I want to.
So are you being programmed?
Yes.
What? Don't be shy. Say, boy.
No, yes. Yes, I agree with Prabhupada.
Well, I'm not sure that I'm even aware of that process going on.
Are you? Find out.
For myself,
I am asking you now, not next day or later on, but I am asking you now, find out if you are being programmed. As a Filipino, or as a Hindu, or as a Christian, or something else, which are, you are being told from childhood, you are a Filipino. I am a Hindu, she is a Christian, right? And she is a Hindu, or a Brahmin. And he's been from South America, Argentina. So there is this, you are being programmed. If you are a Catholic, you've been programmed for 2,000 years, right? See the fact. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. And she's a Hindu of a certain strata of society called the Brahmanas, and she has been programmed, say I'm a Brahman, or I'm no longer Brahman, right? It is the same process, isn't it? You're being programmed as a Hindu for the last 3,000 to 5,000 years. Hindu is from the word Indus, the famous river. I won't go into it. So, you are being programmed, right? It may be necessary, right? I'm being programmed when I learn how to dance, how to play football or cricket, right? I've learned, you follow?
So when I use a certain bit of information that I have about you, would you call that programming as well?
If you use that knowledge of what you have learned about me, and that becomes a memory, then it becomes a barrier. You then don't look at me afresh.
Every time I see you, I remember what
Of course, what you have,
learned.
all the image you have built about him or so on, or her, and that image prevents you from looking at him afresh. Right? You're meeting all this?
But still, you
Yes.
have to remember certain
Of course.
things.
I can't each time ask you what's your name, it sounds silly.
Yes, but then you have to make a certain.
That
sort of
find out, learn. Don't say I have to make a certain
No,
choice.
but I mean,
Go
why
into it, find out. You see, you're not doing it.
There seems
Just
to
a
be
bit. Are you learning from what I'm saying? I'm saying, asking you, are you learning from what we have discussed, or just passing it by? When we said that you are being programmed, right?
I can see that, sir.
Is that a fact to you?
Yes.
Not, you see the difference between a fact and an idea? Be quick. Don't take time. Look, that clock is a fact. Fact, but that's complicated fact, right? There are a lot of mechanism, originality, follow? There it is in front of us. You can touch it, you can feel it, you can almost smell it, you can't quite taste it, but it's a fact, right? You don't make that into an idea, it's a clock or a watch, right? Now I say to you, just listen quietly. that you are being programmed. Right? Is that a fact to you or an idea that you're being programmed? Why? You see the difference?
But when we look at it, we can see that, when we look at all the process and all what happened
Louder,
before,
louder, please.
when we look at it and when we look at all the process that has programmed us, we can see that it's a fact.
So it's not an idea.
No? Well,
Wait, I'll show you. When you have a toothache, it's a fact.
yeah.
You don't say, pretend or have an idea that you have a toothache, right?
But by fact here, say,
Have you listened?
yes. By fact here, do you mean something that exists? That
Not only exists. Now, wait a minute. I'm asking you find out for yourself whether you are being programmed. Right? When you say, I realize that's a fact to me that I'm being programmed, it's not an idea. Right?
no.
Right? Are you paying it?
Yes.
No, wait, go slowly. I say to you, just listen carefully. You are the world, and the world is you. Is that an idea or a fact? Careful. So, look at it carefully. Is that statement that you are the world and the world is you, is that a fact to you? Or an idea, a utopia, a feeling that it's marvelous, or, you follow?
I think it's an idea, sir.
Yes. Why? Why do you make it into an idea? I'm asking, I'll go further. Is it an idea or a fact? Your thinking, your anger, careful. Your anger, your jealousy, your fears, your antagonisms, follow? Is that a fact or is it an idea? Now you're going to find it awfully difficult. Go in to learn.
So it's a fact that this organism exists over here.
The organism is a fact.
Yes.
Oh, no.
I've got a thumb, you've got a thumb.
Yes.
You're short, I'm tall, or I'm short, you're tall. It's a fact. Right? You didn't create that tree.
No.
Thank God. Or the tiger. But you created this room. Not you, you
Yes.
created this room. Right? Now inquire, learn, move further. I'm asking you how to learn, not how, learn about yourself. You understand? What you think, what you feel. Then you go on, learn.
Krishnaji, when you say learn about yourself, is that, sometimes I think I do that, but that's just memorizing what I like, what I don't like.
That's it. So, who is the I that doesn't like and dislike? You understand? Go on and push. I like her, I don't like you. Right? She's a friend, you are not my friend. And I'm angry. Right? Is anger different from me?
No.
No. Why do you say no?
Well, it's a part of me, I could say.
All right, part of you.
'Cause
Pleasure is part of you. Fear is part of you, right? pain is part of you, and so on. Do you put all the parts together and make it whole? You understand what I'm saying?
That is me, or all these little parts put together.
Is you.
Yes.
Yes.
Therefore, what does that mean? You are all that.
Yes.
Yes.
Be very careful. Don't agree so quickly. You are not different from all that. Right? Are you different from anger? No, of course not. So you are anger. Right? Now I'm going to look at myself. We're coming to that. Right? I can see myself in the mirror when I shave. I comb my hair. The mirror reflects the face which is me. Right? So can I look at myself as clearly as I see my face in the mirror?
How would...
Have you listened?
Yes, sir.
Can you do it? Will you do it? Or will you find out how to look at yourself?
Is there something which will reflect myself?
Find out. You said, we all agreed or saw for ourselves, anger is you. Pleasure is you. Being frightened is you. So you are a bundle of all this. Eh? Your background, your reactions. Oh, I've had a terrible childhood, but I've been a happy childhood. So, all that is you.
But why is it that I tend to separate that from
Now
myself?
find out why. Why
I
do
don't
you,
like to think...
Listen. Subhrama, just listen first before you answer too quickly. Why do you separate yourself from all that? Is it tradition?
Partly.
Not partly. Don't use the word partly. See, is it tradition? Is it habit? Is it your culture, your religion?
It's all that.
So what does that all mean?
It's another program, isn't it?
No, go on. What does all that mean?
This is all the experience that I've
You're just
accumulated.
repeating.
No, sir.
Huh? When you say, when I ask you why, you separate. And I said to you, why do you separate? When you know now, probably I've not thought of it before, that anger is you. Right? That's a fact. Why do you separate it? Separate anger as though something that was different from you. I asked, is it tradition? Is it habit? Is it your particular culture? Which means further, good and bad. The good fighting the bad, and the bad fighting the good. Follow? Follow all that up.
These are things that we've been told since we were very young.
Young. Therefore, when you separate, you are being mechanical. Because you've been taught that, it's all right.
That's why he said, we just repeated all this.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So you understood?
Yes, but I'm not very clear about it.
You're not clear. Let's make it more so that you become clear. You look at that tree in full bloom, green leaves, rich. Look at it, look at it. Turn your face and look. Right? The breeze is playing with it. It's almost dancing, right? How do you look at that tree?
What do you mean, how?
What do you see?
Well, I see the tree.
Of course, you're not that tree,
No.
right? Now, do you look at yourself that way?
No.
Huh? No, naturally not. Because you are not that tree. But when you look at yourself, how do you look at yourself? As though you are separate and looking?
Yes, sir, because I like to think that I'm not afraid or that fear is not me.
So, you have separated yourself from your fear, from your anxiety, from your etc., right? What I asked you, why? Why has mankind, including you and me, why have we separated anger from me?
Because we've been, again, programmed to think that anger is bad.
That's all. Now, can you not be programmed and look?
You mean keep away all that we've been
Of course.
conditioned to do?
If I have been from childhood, say, you are separate from fear, therefore fight it, therefore conquer it, therefore be courageous, therefore avoid it, follow, and so on. So, from childhood, I have been conditioned, trained, educated to look at fear as though something apart from me. See what the result of that is. Consequences of this separation. Careful, don't answer me. Look at it first. See what it does. Right? I call myself a Hindu, if I do, and you are a Muslim. I have been programmed. You have been programmed to be Muslim, Allah, and all the Quran, right? And I've been programmed in a different way, as a Jew and an Arab, and we'll kill each other. This is the consequence, right,
Of that separation.
of this separation, right? So, when I call myself a Jew and you call yourself an Islam, following Islam tradition, we are separated from each other, which means that separation brings conflict between us, right? I believe in jihad. You know what that word means? Holy war. I become a martyr in getting killed. It's marvelous. And you have been programmed, don't kill, suppose, right? Or you have been programmed as an Arab, and I'm a Jew, so we fight. See now, related to when you separate yourself from fear, there is a conflict there.
Yes, but why does that happen?
Huh?
Why does that happen?
I told you.
No, but why do I want to separate it seems quite deliberate that I want to separate myself from all
Because then you could control it. then you can suppress it, right? Then you can run away from it or transcend it. It's a conflict.
But where does that get me?
It had led you nowhere, but you like that tradition. You follow it mechanically.
Or on the other hand, you reject it mechanically.
You have got mechanically. And become lazy, lethargic, don't care. You follow?
Mm-hmm.
So, have you learned the consequences, the result of separating yourself from fear?
What if we're not aware that we're doing it?
Just take ordinary, when you are aware of fear. You are
Usually
aware.
we're not.
Huh?
Usually we're not.
No, oh yes, you are aware of fear.
Well,
Somebody
yes.
comes and slaps you, naturally.
Yes, but there are many other feelings that we're not aware of.
I'm beginning with something that you can get hold of, not aware of everything.
Yeah.
That'll come very much later. Not later, if you learn about it. Go on. So, do you actually see the consequences of separation? I, a Jew, my tradition goes back to 4,000 years, right? I'm the chosen people, etc., etc. I worship the nameless and so on. You, an Arab, Muslim, Islam, Allah, and we fight. Why? I have been programmed, you have been programmed, right? And we think we are separate. My God is separate from your God.
But it seems that
No, is that so? That's a fact.
yes.
I'm British. Right? And you are Argentine. So I go to Falkland and kill you. Right? And this we have been doing for thousands of years, right? Right? Is
But
that
sir,
the-
at one level, I see the destruction that it has been causing, but at another level, I still contribute to it.
That's
Why does that go on?
I know, we'll come to that presently. You're going ahead.
No.
Yes, sir. First, see the consequence of separation in yourself, right? And actually what's going on in the world. I'm British, you're French. Only China, water of 22 miles separate us. I'm a British man, businessman, I manufacture better than hers, and so on. The vanity, you follow?
That happens between two friends too.
That's all I'm saying. Go into it. First see what is happening in the world, then relate what is happening to yourself. Right? Unless you have a criteria for the outer, you can't then, you follow? Judge, value, look.
I would see
Look carefully. You are not listening. Look, the ideology of the Soviets, which what they have made of Marx, Lenin, Stalin, right? And the whole democratic world, right? So ideology is separate, right? Learn. So they're fighting about ideologies. Which is what? An idea, society should be this. Right? And so you have the Politburo dominating the whole world. Russia.
Yeah, society should be what I think it
That's it, exactly. Or what we all think. It's self-interest. Right? So, see the consequences of separation.
So, but what would stop all this going on?
I'm not trying to stop what's going on. First, I must see what's going on in me. Because I'm contributing to all this. By calling myself Hindu, you are Philippine, she's French, and he's Argentine, she's a Muslim. You follow?
But why do I blame it on another person? I don't seem to see that I'm responsible for it too.
I don't blame anybody. I say this what humanity has done to each other, right?
No, so I'm saying when I think that I'm an Arab and that you're a Jew, I put all the blame on you.
Of course, for various reasons.
I don't see that
I
perhaps
want
I'm
that
responsible
land
as well.
which belongs to me about 100 years ago, or 200 years ago, or 400 years ago. And the Israelis say, my dear chap, I used to own this land, all this enormous land, long before, 4,000 years ago. Right? So I'm asking you to look at the result of separation. In me, I am different from anger, therefore I fight anger, control it, suppress it, or transcend it, right? There is separation going on in me. And so I create the world in which I live. Clear?
Yes,
The society is created by me.
by several me's.
By you, my grandfather, my great. We're all me first, and so society we have created it. Unless there is a change here, I can't change there.
Yes.
Right? So you're not talking, you're just saying
So,
yes.
but you said change again.
No, find out.
How
I'm
do you
coming
mean
What
to
do you mean by
No,
this?
I don't, not what I mean. Don't ever say
But
what
you
do you
used that
mean.
word, sir.
I am asking you, do you actually in your heart, in your brain, see the fact what separation does? I get married. All this sex and all that. And I'm ambitious. Very. Or aggressive. I want to get on, make money. Right? Have a good job, good car. I want to advance. And my wife also wants to do the same thing in a different direction. Right? So we are already separated. Right? So the consequence of that separation, I may enjoy my sex and all that, comfort of a house, but we two are separate. Therefore, we are at loggerheads with each other. Right? No, don't say yes. Do you actually see this as a fact? Or do you say yes? I quite agree with you, let's get on.
Krishnaji, my problem is that I can see it happening outside. I can see it happening to the other people. But somehow I find it hard to see it in myself.
Why not?
I don't know, I tend to think...
Don't accept anything hard and remain hard. Let it remain as though it was a hard thing. See what it does. See what's happening in the world first.
Yes.
Argentina and England, but it's very simple.
Yes, well, I can see that. I mean, that's simple enough.
See what is happening to you when you're separate yourself from your fear, from your reactions, from what you did. You follow?
Well, we seem
It's
to be,
exactly the same thing.
Oh, the
In
two
relationship to-
conflicting movements going on.
Conflicting movements of which you are.
That I am both those movements?
Of course.
Gosh.
Do you see? I won't move from this, if you don't mind. As long as it is not actual in you, that you, when you separate, you are bringing contradictory movements in yourself, and therefore conflict. I don't see why it's so difficult for you to see this.
are you saying that we do the same thing that with our anger, for example, we want to push it away, we want to suppress it, and we do the same with someone from another country?
Yes.
That we say he's English, so I want to.
Yeah. Separation, you understand?
Mhm.
That is division. I am British and you are French. Right? I have had a tremendous empire, so have had you. And I'm very proud of my tradition, so are you.
Mhm.
We both worship a symbol, Christians, but we're willing to kill each other economically and all the rest of it, for various territorial purposes. Right?
Mhm.
England and France, England had a great interest in France at one time. Right?
Well, I don't know, but Yeah.
And so on. Right?
Why do I think I'm better than everybody else?
It's part of your vanity, part of your aggression, part of your tradition. The other day on television, did you see? The German reliability and the British know-how. You understand? As though Germans didn't know how, they know how, but we British only know the know-how. They are very reliable, but we are. You follow? This sense of separation, this sense of vanity. The Germans know as much as they know how as you and I do. Otherwise they couldn't have put a car together. Or many Americans also say they know how, we are better.
But where does that come from?
Well, find out.
Is it there in us from the minute we're born?
Little
it-
bit probably.
You mean genetically?
My family is better than yours.
Or when I'm a baby, I don't think that.
Not that. But it begins slowly.
Over the years.
The tradition say, be careful, you are British, behave like a British. Be proud of your tradition. You had a tremendous empire.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're reduced,
Mm-hmm.
but you are still, remember.
But even when you're a child and that your parents tell you how, because when you're young, everyone say how wonderful he is, look, he's doing this and
Yeah,
that, and then
yeah.
you become proud of it. And that's how you...
So are you learning from this discussion, from this dialogue? Are you learning? Or just memorizing? See the difference? If you say, well, yes, I've learned, but I don't want to change, it's all right to carry on as I am. I like conflict, right? I like this struggle. Then carry on. That's what the world is doing anyhow. And you may be frightened to stand alone.
Yes.
Yes.
You don't know how to.
So I'm pleased. I'm asking you most respectfully, learn from all this. Don't fall back and say it's my old tradition. Right? Be aware of all this.
So we looked at what learning was not, but what is this movement of learning?
What do you ask me?
Because
We
I
have
don't
spent
know.
now we've spent an hour, and you're still asking me what is learning and what is memory.
No, no. I said we spoke of what learning is not. That it
Yes.
is not memory. That it is not the accumulation of knowledge.
Therefore, find out what it is.
I don't know.
You will move. Don't say I don't know and remain there.
No.
I told Goya, after painting for, I don't know, till he was 92 or 90, he said, I'm still learning. It's a marvelous statement if you go into it.